Awesome. Hey, how y'all doing? This is Rick Sincere with MTMV Sports. I'm geeked to be joined today by the squad, man. It's going to be an awesome day. We have so much to talk about. Yo, how you feeling, Jay Stevens? What's good, sir?
I am glad to be here with you guys tonight. Jay Stevens, part of the Hard to Paint crew, host of the Jay Stevens podcast. Happy to chop it up with these guys tonight.
Awesome, man. What's up, Miles Austin? How you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling good, baby. It's Hard to Paint podcast, the other half. 1/3, I guess, if you want to put it for real.
1/3.
But yeah, we in here, man. I'm excited, baby.
Bet. West Side, what's good with you, sir? How you feeling?
Hey, man, this is your boy West Side, the best side producer, and 1/3 of Hard to Paint, and also 1/2 of Campus Connect. We're still looking for other people, Teaspoon.
Bet, man. And look, hey, and we got the homie Teaspoon rejoining us today. Teaspoon, how you doing, bro? Welcome to the show.
I am great. Hey, man, glad to be back. Thanks for y'all having me again. Yeah, it's just me, Teaspoon from 904, do all till I die. Tank for Trevor, tank for Trey Lance, tank for anybody at quarterback. Yeah.
Hey, I might get Cam Newton, man. You can't tank with a Cam.
I don't want Cam Newton. Don't.
Yo,
all
man,
right,
so
come get
look,
y'all Super Bowl.
let's hop into it today, y'all. So we just gave NASCAR some praise last week. It was like, man,
Crazy.
Thank you, NASCAR, for all the stuff that they're trying to get rid of the Confederate flag, man. And right after that, I want to say the following week, like this week now, we see a situation happening in NASCAR again. And you knew there was going to be some pushback. Getting rid of symbols of racism is tough in this country for some ungodly reason. So trying to get rid of the Confederate flag, we knew there'd be some pushback. We asked last week, what type of pushback did you expect? We asked, did you expect to see something? And for the most part, we all kind of gave it the benefit of the doubt, thinking that nothing would really go down, right? We were wrong. So this week, just happened. Like what we saw is there was a noose found hanging in the garage stall of driver BUBBA WALLACE. NASCAR announced this past Sunday. Wallace released a statement on the situation saying that this will not break me. I will not give in, nor will I back down. Here's more of the statement. It says, today's despicable act of racism and hatred leaves me incredibly saddened and serves as a painful reminder of how much further we have to go as a society and how persistent we must be in the fight against racism. Over the last several weeks, I have been overwhelmed by the support from people across the NASCAR industry, including other drivers and team members in the garage. Together, our sport has made a commitment to driving real change and championing a community that is accepting and welcoming of everyone. Nothing is more important, and we will not be deterred by the reprehensible actions of those who seek to spread hate. As my mother told me today, they are just trying to scare you. This will not break me. I will not give in, nor will I back down. I will continue to proudly stand for what I believe in. Man, there is so much happening right now with NASCAR, and there have been signs of solidarity as they kind of pushed his car down actually to the front of the race yesterday. So there's so much happening with NASCAR right now. Miles, I need to ask you this question, man. How long do you think it'll be before we get to the spot where this is no longer a thing in NASCAR?
I don't think it's the time when you don't get to it. I think I've been to a couple NASCAR races, and although enjoyable, you know what you're kind of getting, with the type of crowd or type of demographic that you're talking about. I was actually talking to one of my managers today. He's an older white gentleman, and he said the same thing to me. He said, man, when you go to NASCAR, you know what kind of crowd you're going to get and the people that you may see in there. So you're just kind of always mindful of that. If an older white gentleman is telling me that this is what he's expecting, this is what he kind of stays away from while he's trying to enjoy the sport that he likes in NASCAR, I think you have to say the same thing for a black gentleman. I think one of these things, man, when you like you said, when you take something down, like a Confederate flag that stands for what it stands for, and people who believe it's just Southern heritage, you're gonna get this, and that's the kind of people that seem to associate themselves with this flag. So was I surprised when it happened? A little bit, but not as much as I thought I would be, honestly, because I didn't think it would be something to that degree. Obviously, that is heinous type of thing to do to somebody who's just running their race. I mean, even the guy we talked about who said he was retiring, like it didn't make any sense to me that this response is happening from somebody who's just doing their job and has been doing their job for a while. So I think NASCAR is doing a great job in kind of combating this, and what they did with taking down the Confederate flag. I think he got pushed to the front of Talladega. All the NASCAR drivers pushed him to the front. So that was good to see that NASCAR drivers are standing with Bubba. So I think the sport in itself, the drivers, as well as the organization as a whole, is standing against it. So I do think that it's going to stop. And I think the same thing with police brutality. Once these offenders are getting consequences and serious sentencing and things that happen after the fact, I think that's when we can see that it'll slow down and it'll stop.
All right, talk to me, Jay Stevens.
I'm right there with Miles, man. When I first saw this situation with Bubba Wallace and the Noose in his garage, I'm like, man, he's just living his life. He's just the lone guy, the lone black man in NASCAR racer. It's a joke at times, but he's literally the token black guy, and all of a sudden he's going here. But the positive that I see about it, and I'll get to when I think this will end, but just what Miles mentioned, and as we saw on social media, all the drivers pushing his car to the front, saying, we know what you're going through. We can't walk in your shoes. We don't understand the fight you're fighting. We can stand with you, and we can encourage you and be behind you and push you up. And you even saw with Bubba Wallace, he got a little emotional. He started crying a little bit. This being overtaken with emotion and what's going on right now, not just in our country, but in his life as well. And I think it's going to take, I think it'll be a late, take some time to get this ideology out of NASCAR, because it's been there for so long. Like Miles said, you go to races, you know what to expect. You know the things that you're going to see, and you know there's a good chance before now you're going to see one, if not multiple, Confederate flags. And so it really is going to take once the young people, the younger generation that realizes and understands this, what's going on is wrong, how racism is wrong, and what that flag means to so many people, that once they get to be adults and they're like, oh yeah, we're not doing this no more. And then they'll be able to stand up to the older generation and say, yeah, I know when I was 10, 11, 12, you didn't listen to me, but now I'm 30, 35, 40, I have something to say, and what you're doing with this flag and how you're treating people, black people, is wrong. So I think it'll take some time, but man, just watching those drivers push his car, that was very encouraging to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Teaspoon. What'd you feel about the situation?
Well, just knowing some of the interactions that I've dealt with many white folks and whatnot, and just having a fish net that looked like a noose hung at my high school, it's kind of a similar incident. Well, not on the, because I went to a multicultural high school. Well, not multicultural, white and black. But I kind of understand how Bubba feels. Definitely, well, any black person should, knowing the history of the Confederate flag and knowing what that noose did to many black people, slavery times and even after. But I just don't understand the logic of not wanting to get rid of things like this. But I do understand the logic of white people not wanting to give up their heritage. And I think this may be just like a stand. I don't know if this is a rogue act, but me personally, I don't believe it was. Because we're in an era knowing it's supposed to be socially distanced and so many people in a garage area at one point in time. Man, I just thank God that he didn't see the news, because if I would have saw a news like that, I would have flipped. Y'all would have seen this stereotypical black person. I would have been angry. And me being very aggressive in nature sometimes. I just know that would have set me off. But who wouldn't it set off? But I think just at the end of the day, man, it's a very unfortunate situation. Me personally, I don't think we're going to change NASCAR because of most of its fans or whatever, like in that southern, especially in Alabama. I really believe there's a very backward state a lot of the times, but you know, it's extremely unfortunate, and you have to change over, you know, that's ages of thinking, you know, and I don't think it's ever gonna happen, man. It's kind of beating a dead horse, unfortunately, but I don't know. It's a very sticky situation for Bubba.
It is a sticky situation for Bubba, man. And honestly, if Bubba has on the mask, you really don't know that Bubba is black. Like, if you didn't see him without the mask on, you really wouldn't know, for real, until he takes off his mask and you really get a chance to look at him. You can tell like he's a black guy, and that was our time. So, you can see that, you know, he's a black guy. You understand, and if you watch NASCAR at all, if you follow NASCAR, then you know Bubba Wallace and you know he's a black guy. And you know what this whole situation is about. You also know that his influence is big already, right? You got guys like Alvin Kamara saying, hey, man, I'm about to start coming to the show. I'm about to start coming to the game. And so you start to see that. So, hey, look, so we're going to wrap up this session, but we're going to go ahead and get ready for our next segment. On Westside, we got 30 seconds. What you got to say before we close it?
I just want to say, man, it's scary how much access people have to black rooms, black garages, black anything. I mean, if you think about the guys back in the day, how, you know, you find letters, blood all over their rooms, their stuff getting thrown around. Let's talk about LeBron James just a few years ago. He got nigger painted all over his garage door and all that other stuff. So it's just scary how much access certain folks have to black property.
Sure. Yeah, I think the ability to get there, somebody dropped the ball, right? Or somebody either dropped the ball accidentally or somebody willingly dropped the ball. And
I think it's a willingly thing. I'm sorry, but when it's as often as it is, there's a willingness to this thing. So,
and that's kind of something that went down, man. So look, we'll hop out of this segment. We'll jump into the next segment. The voice is just in time for us to go into our first break. And so we're going to hop into this first break, and then right after this, we'll come back, man, and we'll talk about the bounce back, man. This year could be a huge bounce back for several guys out there. Ty Gurley, I was looking on you, man. All right, guys, so we'll talk about this in a second. All right, we'll be right back after this.
Hey, it's DeAndre Francois. Y'all watching MTMV Sports. Keep it locked.